Welcome to BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we're going to be answering about that team in our August 17th preseason football preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom, and tonight, Dan, we're talking about the Merkel Badgers.
Yeah, and this is a Merkel team in the second year under Coach Will Cates. Had kind of a mixed bag results-wise last year, went 4-6 overall, 1-4 in district, but was very, very competitive in their league. I mean, they had several games that could have really gone either way and would have kind of flipped their playoff hopes. So I think that they gained some really valuable experience last year with a lot of young guys, and this year a lot of those guys are back with that extra year of experience. So 15 of 27 lettermen have returned, including 7 offensive and 5 defensive starters. So a really solid nucleus. About a 500 JV team will be filling some of those holes. So I think I know Coach Cates expects some improvement this year, and it'll just be kind of interesting to see if maybe they can, turn some of that experience and continuity of being in the second year under their same head coach into a few more wins.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say that Merkel is going to be one of the surprise teams this year. I think a lot of people are underrating them. I've seen people picking them last. I don't think this is a last place team. I think this is they're going to be in the second year of this system. They've got their quarterback back. They have 7 starters back offensively in the second year of this system. They're going to take a step forward offensively, and they weren't bad last year. They were competitive in several ball games last year in league play. I don't think this is a last place team, people. I really don't. I think that Merkel's going to surprise some people.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And this district is so dang competitive that there are certainly games they can win on that schedule. It's just gonna be interesting to see if maybe they can turn some of those tight losses they had last year into flip that result. And it didn't take flipping many of those to be a playoff team.
No.
So we'll see if they can achieve that. I think one thing that will be interesting to see is just how much improvement they get out of quarterback Joey Zink, who was obviously in his first year under Coach Cates last year, but he's a talented kid. He's their leading returning rusher, dual threat guy who can spin the ball a little bit as well. And like you said, he'll be, being protected by a really experienced and solid offensive line. So that's going to be a plus for him. They're going to have to find some weapons around him. I know the running back position is one that there's some concern about. They're going to have to find somebody that can kind of produce from that position. And then on the defensive side, their defensive backfield that has some holes to fill. They lost some really quality defensive backs last year, starting with Chris Delgado at the cornerback position. But this is gonna be an interesting team, and Coach Cates is a guy that he knows what he's doing. I think that he's a good coach, and given time, I think you'll see this team really take some strides this year.
Absolutely, and I think this is the first year you're going to see that happen. I think this team is going to take a step forward, and I like their non-district schedule. I think this non-district portion of their schedule, if you look at it, gives them an opportunity to get some wins, to get some early confidence, and then go into district play with maybe a little bit of momentum. They open up with Clifton in a neutral field game at Cisco on August 26th. They host Stanton. That should be an interesting ball game too, by the way. That's kind of my type of ball game. There'd be a lot of running in that one on September 2nd. Then they're at Clyde on September 9th. They host Bangs on the 16th, and then they're at Coahoma. Another interesting ball game at Coahoma on the 23rd. They'll be idle on September 30th.
Yeah, and just looking at the non-district schedule, I agree with you completely. I think it's a really good mix of really quality challenges of teams that are, I think, like them, kind of aspiring playoff teams, but not anything that's overwhelming. So I agree with you there. And that'll set them up for what we mentioned is a really competitive district. They open with a big game, in my opinion, at home against Dublin, follow that with a game at Eastland, then follow that with home games against Jacksboro and Comanche before wrapping up the regular season at Millsap.
Key games for Merkel. I think the home opener in district against Dublin is going to be a very big ball game. If they win that one, it opens the door for a lot of possibilities. I personally view Merkel as a possible 2 seed or 3 seed this year. That'll stun some people to see Merkel as a 2 seed. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. But if that's going to happen, they have got to win that first game against Dublin at home. If they win that one, there's a whole bunch of different possibilities that can happen.
Yeah, and I tend to think we're going to learn a whole lot in that first week of district as well. Dublin's a team that's obviously filling some holes. Had a great season last year, but a lot of the guys that were big parts of it are gone. So I think that's a big game. If, like you said, if Merkel can find a way to win that district opener against Dublin, all of a sudden, I mean, you look like maybe you can, like you said, make a run in that district toward maybe a runner-up spot or something. But this district is just there's so much parity in this district that I think every game is going to be a whole lot of fun. I mean, I mean, there's some really quality teams in that district, but I don't think there's anybody that's head and shoulders over anybody. So I think if Merkel can, like you said, win a couple of games, particularly that district opener, and gain some confidence, all of a sudden they're feeling good about themselves and maybe can make a little bit of a run. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun schedule, and there's no game on there that's unwinnable. They'll all be tough, but none of them are unwinnable.
No, there's not a single game on that schedule that they can't win. In my opinion, they'll win several ball games this year, and they'll be a playoff team. With that, it's about time to wrap up tonight's edition of the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, the Merkel Badgers, the Michael Badgers. But before we do that, we want to remind you that we've got 3 separate subscription packages here at bigcountrypreps.com. We got a monthly for $5 a month. We got a semi-annual 6-month subscription where we knock that price down to $4 a month. And then we've got an annual 12-month subscription where we knock that price down to $3 a month, $36 for a full year of Big Country High School athletic coverage. And please note that even though we've got high inflation these days, we've kept our prices the same. We're running with the same set of prices that we did back in 2018.
We'd also like to remind you before we close out this episode of our Countdown series to once again be on the lookout for that August 17th preseason football preview. We'll just have a ton of area content. You will definitely not want to miss that. In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Days series. And make sure you join us again tomorrow when we will be talking about the Breckenridge Buckaroos here at bigcountrypreps.com.